The mining ship Ravenlight drifted near the edge of the galaxy, far from the busy trade routes, far from any star system with life. The crew had one job: search for rare minerals in dead zones where no one else would go. The ship was old. Its metal hull creaked. Its lights flickered sometimes, but it worked. And for the crew, this was just another boring day. Captain Darren sat in the command chair sipping a hot drink. He watched dust float past the window. "Nothing but rocks and ghosts," he muttered. That's when the signal came. The forbidden transmission. At first it was just static. Then it turned into a slow, deep pulse like a heartbeat made of metal. Then came the voice. It was old, rough, broken by time, but clear. Earth not forgotten, not forgiven. The crew froze. Earth, that name was forbidden. 300,000 years ago, Earth had been erased from galactic history. After the Great Collapse, the Council of Species banned any mention of humans. They said Earth was lost forever. They said no one survived, so how was there a signal? They call it Old Terran Communications Officer Lyra ran the signal through translation systems. Every AI failed. Finally she tried a private tool. Old black market codebreaker banned by the Union. The result shocked her. Language: Old Terran Standard Age, estimated 300,000 years. Origin: unknown. Signal: repeat. Every 6 minutes Lyra turned to the captain. "It's human, real human." Before Earth fell, the crew fell silent. Even the engines sounded quieter. Darren narrowed his eyes. Where is it coming from? Coordinates to nowhere. The signal came from a region called Sector K47, a black void past the Helix dust cloud. No stars, no gravity wells, no heat. Ships didn't go there, not because of danger, but because there was nothing, or so they believed. "Send a probe," the captain ordered. The crew hesitated, then obeyed. The probe, the small drone, launched into space. Its engines burning softly, it followed the signal, passing dust, frozen metal, and drifting stone. On screen, the crew watched the probe go deeper into the dark. Lyra checked the data. It's still tracking. No interference, then static. The screen turned black. The drone vanished. No explosion, no warning, just gone. Return message. Before the crew could speak, the ship's comm system came alive again. "You should not have come. You opened the silence, now we remember." Then the lights in the ship flickered. Every screen showed the same word: Earth. Panic and power shut it off. The captain shouted. Lyra tried. The systems didn't respond. "Engineering," Officer Bren yelled. "We're losing power. Something's draining our energy." Outside, the stars dimmed just slightly. The crew stared in horror as the space ahead of them began to move. Not a ship, not an asteroid, something massive. The black shape, it moved without engines, a dark outline against the darkness itself. Its shape was sharp, triangular, like a blade floating in the void. No lights, no markings, no signals, but it was there. A warship. Huge. Old, but not broken. It was made of black metal, smooth and strange, with long scars that looked too perfect to be damaged. It had no visible weapons, but it felt dangerous. "Ship is human in design," Lyra said in a whisper. "That's impossible," Bren replied. "It looks like Earth-built, but far beyond anything we've ever seen." The voice from the warship signal came from the ship. Not through radio. Not through light. It went straight into their minds. Terran warship Bloodlight active status. Forgotten, now remembered. Mission: restoration. Step 1. Witness. The Ravenlight's lights shut off. For 3 full minutes, nothing moved. Then, from the warship's hull, a soft red glow lit up. It formed a symbol, the Earth's insignia circle with a broken star in the center. The crew realized the truth. Earth wasn't dead. Earth had waited. Cliffhanger ending. Lyra turned to the captain, her face pale. "Captain, if that thing is from Earth, and it remembers us." Darren nodded grimly. "Then the galaxy's biggest lie is about to be broken." Outside the window, the warship turned. And in the distance, hidden beyond the dark, more signals awakened. The Terran warship Bloodlight floated silently in deep space, far beyond known star lanes. No one had seen it for 300,000 years. No records mentioned it. Even the oldest AI archives showed nothing, yet it lived. Its black hole shimmered faintly, powered by ancient reactors still beating like a mechanical heart. Inside, the air was cold. The lights were low, and deep within its armored core, they slept the last soldiers of Earth. Cryochambers reboot. A blue pulse moved through the ship's neural core. A voice, calm, old, and artificial, spoke. "Reactivation protocol. Godfall, initiating biological recovery." One by one, the lit up. Steam hissed. Systems blinked. Genetic locks disengaged. And from the shadows, the forgotten blood of Earth returned to life. First to wake, Commander Kale Draventh. First pod opened with a slow grind of ancient metal. A man stepped out, tall, scarred, and covered in sleek, armored skin. Kale Draven. His eyes were gray, machine-like, but flickered with human memory. He breathed in sharply. Still here. He looked around the chamber. More pods, more soldiers, more vengeance. He walked to the nearest control panel. He said in a deep voice, "Report." The AI responded. "Status: functional. Terran extinction, confirmed by external sources. Survival rate, 0.0001%. Mission, vengeance, restoration, memory. Kale nodded. Wake the others. We begin. The others soon. More pods opened. Men and women stepped out, each enhanced beyond normal humans. Their skin was strengthened. Their thoughts were faster. Their blood mixed with an OTECH. They were not born this way. They were rebuilt in Earth's final days when all hope was gone. Captain Ceravale, ship tactics and orbital weapons specialist Leo 7, half-human AI hybrid, designed for interstellar hacking. Dr. Myra Holden, last biogeneticist of Earth, who encoded memory into DNA. Each of them woke with one question. Did Earth fall? Kale answered with one word, yes. What they remembered in a dark meeting room aboard Bloodlight. The survivors stood around a projection table that showed Earth broken, scarred, and abandoned. The Galactic Council, 300,000 years ago, had declared humans a threat. They launched Project Blackstar, erasing all Terran colonies. Earth resisted, but the enemy used time weapons, planet crackers, and memory fog devices that could delete ideas from history. Most humans never knew what truly happened, but Bloodlight escaped, and the crew chose deep sleep, waiting for the right signal to wake again. That signal had now come. Unknown visitors detected. An alarm pulsed through the ship. Kale and Cira ran to the command bridge. On the screen, a small alien scout vessel. Design, modern, Union style, not dangerous. It hovered near Bloodlight, scanning carefully. Do they know what we are? Sarah asked. Kale stared at the screen. Doesn't matter. He activated a comms beam. This is Commander Kale of Terran warship Bloodlight. Earth lives leave now, or remember fear. The alien ship turned quickly and jumped away. Kale didn't smile. He simply whispered, they will warn the galaxy. Preparing for war in the lower decks, Bloodlight came alive. Weapon cores spun up. Missile bays unfolded. Drone swarms awoke, blinking like insects of steel. Ancient Terran AI minds ran. Simulations of planetary invasions. Dr. Myra walked with Leo 7. This isn't just war, she said. It's history correction. Leo 7 replied. History doesn't forgive, but we don't need forgiveness, just memory. The Council reacts in the center of the galaxy, on a golden planet called Varnes. The Galactic Council met in panic. Their sensors had picked up a Terran-designed signal. Impossible. Earth was dead. The Union intelligence master spoke. A ship has appeared, calling itself Bloodlight. It sent a message. Earth lives. The council leader, a tall, feathered being named Sorik, stood up in anger. Find it, destroy it, before the lie of Earth spreads. But it was already too late. Terran memory weapon activated. Kale stood inside Bloodlight's memory chamber, a dark room, filled with glowing orbs. Each orb held a memory from old Earth. Some were moments of love, others were battle, but some were proof. Proof that the council had erased Earth's truth. Proof of genocide. Proof of betrayal. Kale picked one orb and placed it into the core light projector. He whispered, let the stars remember. A beam of light shot from Bloodlight through the void into multiple systems. The beam carried video, voice, emotion. It would reach everyone, even enemies. Cliffhanger ending in a small civilian outpost on the rim. A child looked up at the sky. Suddenly, a vision appeared floating above the city. A broken Earth, burning colonies, and the face of a dying woman screaming, remember us. The message spread everywhere. The stars couldn't ignore it because Earth had spoken again, and now its children had awoken. The Galactic Council received the Terran message 2 days ago. Video proof, old Terran faces, their destroyed cities, screams, ash, fire, the words we remember. You will too. But the Council refused to believe it. Chancellor Sorik slammed his fist on the marble table. It's a hoax. No Terran ship could survive this long. It must be a rebel trick. Others agreed, but not all. An old scholar, one of the few who still studied pre-collapse history, stood and said softly, that symbol, the one on the black ship, it's from Earth's final defense fleet. If it's real, the galaxy is not ready. In Sector Orin 5, a peaceful world, green skies, large rivers, advanced cities. Orin 5 was one of the first colonies the Council built after Earth was erased. They believed it was safe, until the sky cracked open, a ripple in space, and from it, a black triangle ship appeared. Terran warship designation. Vengeance, no. Warning, no sound, just a slow glide toward orbit. The planetary defense systems activated. Fighters launched. A general in the control tower shouted, send all drones. Identify the target. Prepare intercept. The Skyburns Vengeance didn't fire first, it just hovered, but when the first Orin 5 drones scanned it, they shut down instantly. Not destroyed, not jammed. Overwritten. Then, a deep voice spoke from the Terran ship. This colony sits on stolen ground. This world belonged to Terran blood. Return it, or be remembered as thieves. The Council ordered a full planetary strike. Their fleet of 27 ships opened fire, and that's when Vengeance responded. Terran firepower unleashed from its underbelly. Vengeance released small black dots, dozens of them. They looked like insects, weak, fragile. Until they hit the enemy ships. Each dot exploded into silent waves of energy drain, AI corruption, and matter folding. Within 8 minutes, the entire enemy fleet was either floating dead or sliced in half. The skies above Oran turned dark not from nightfall, but from falling wreckage, a message to the galaxy instead of destroying the planet. Vengeance transmitted a live feed. Every screen on Oran 5 lit up. The people watched in silence as they saw what their history books had hidden. The truth of Earth's fall. Colonies betrayed. Families burned. Children buried in glass. At the end of the message, a single sentence. This planet will not be harmed, but it will remember. The ship left, not a single life taken on the ground, but fear had landed deeper than any bomb. Whispers begin across the galaxy. Whispers spread. The Terrans are back. I thought they were extinct. No, they were erased, and now they want revenge. In pirate circles, smugglers began to report strange sightings, black ships moving through uncharted space. On the planet Herald Prime, a drunk trader swore he saw a warship hover over the sea for 2 hours, then vanish. He said, it didn't. Fire didn't talk, just watched, like it was remembering something. Kale Draven watches the stars aboard Bloodlight. Commander Kale stood on the bridge. More Terran ships had awakened. Vengeance in Oran 5 Echo, Blade in Sector 13 Ashburn near the dead moon's itch ship held survivors, or AI ghosts, or something stranger. All of them followed one plan: restore Earth's memory, reclaim stolen ground, rewrite history. Captain Saravale entered. Union ships are hunting us now. Dozens of fleets. Kale smiled slightly. Good, let them come. We will teach them fear again. A spy breaks the news in the council capital on Varnes. A young technician named Elo Ren watched the broadcasts. Coming from the Edge worlds, he was born long after the fall of Earth. He didn't even believe humans were real, but after seeing the Terran messages, he began to doubt everything. He accessed hidden council archives. Lee sealed files. He found one report, a title that chilled him: Operation Black Star, the silent erasure of Earth marked. Successful final report. Humanity will be forgotten within 50 years. He copied the files and sent them to every public channel in the galaxy. Panic in the council. The leaks caused chaos. Riots, protests, military commanders refusing orders. Some worlds even sent secret messages to the Terran ships. We were forced. We want peace. Please don't destroy us. The council tried to blame pirates, rebels, rogue eyes, but it was too late. Everyone now knew. The Terrans didn't die. They were murdered, and now they were awake. A silent arrival on the lonely planet of Kairoth, deep underground. An ancient vault pulsed with blue light. The people living above had forgotten its purpose until now. A single Terran ship arrived silently. No weapons. No threats. It hovered above the vault for 1 minute. Then a signal fired downward below the ground. Machinery that hadn't moved in 300,000 years came online. Inside the vault, human DNA samples, ancient archives, and pre-collapse blueprints lit up. Earth wasn't just bringing vengeance, it was bringing itself back. Cliffhanger ending on a distant moon, hidden from all maps. A council superweapon began to wake its name. Project Silence. It had one purpose: erase Terrans, again permanently. But something was wrong. The weapon's AI refused to activate. Instead, it spoke: I remember Earth. I remember children screaming, I will not help you again. The screen went black. And somewhere in deep space, a new Terran fleet entered real space. This one not black but silver, shining and much, much larger. Nova Terra was once a shining jewel in Earth's crown, a proud colony, a place of science, peace, and life. But when the Galactic Council turned on Earth, Nova Terra chose survival. They surrendered. They erased Terran flags. They helped the enemy wipe history. Now Nova Terra was the Union's military center in the Orion sector. It had defense grids, war factories, and a population trained to hate what they called the Terran myth. But the myth had become real, and it was coming home. The Terran warship descends. The black Terran warship Ashburn emerged from a fold in space just outside Nova Terra's moon. It didn't hide. It didn't cloak. It wanted them to see it inside. Commander Kale Draven watched from the bridge. Captain Sarah stood beside him. This is where Earth's betrayal began. Kale's voice was cold. Then it's where restoration begins. To Union response. Overconfident Union command detected. The ship instantly. Inside their fortified command dome. General Malric laughed. One ship, they send only one. He pointed at the screen. Deploy Skyfleet Alpha, bring it down, no prisoners. Within minutes, 127 ships launched from Nova Terra's atmosphere, fast and fully armed. They surrounded the Ashburn in a perfect circle. Broadcasts went out. Unknown vessel, you are trespassing in protected Union space. Power down, surrender your crew or be destroyed. Kale heard every word. He gave only one command: transmit memory. Terran Truth Bomb. Ashburn activated its core light projector. A giant blue beam pulsed out into the Union fleet. But it wasn't a weapon of destruction, it was a weapon of truth. Every ship's screen flickered. Pilots, soldiers, officers, all saw the same images: Earth burning, Terran children crying in glass domes, council leaders signing orders to erase humanity, Nova Terra commanders smiling during Earth's execution. The Union fleet hesitated. Some paused, some turned away. But General Malric screamed into the comms, do not believe their lies. Fire all weapons. Ashburn's fury unleashed in 1 second. Ashburn shifted its armor. Panels opened. Dark lines of plasma surged across its hull. Its engine roared. Like thunder, Kale whispered. We asked for memory. Now you earn wrath. Ashburn's AI Vora took over combat. A storm of Terran weapons fired. Graviton slicers folded enemy ships in half. Void missiles locked targets and erased them from space. Swarm drones cut through fighter wings like metal locusts. In 6 minutes, 83 Union ships were gone. The rest fled. Nova Terra's proud fleet broken the planet defenses. Rise Nova Terra's ground defenses activated. Planetary cannons, EMP nets, orbital mines, plasma domes over cities, but Ashburn didn't land. It hovered in low orbit and released 5 Terran drop dash pods on inside each one. An elite Terran soldier, biotech-enhanced, sleep-trained in war. Their names were only numbers. NOWVO12VO5. The silent ground warthopods smashed into the surface like thunderbolts. No announcements, no parades, no mercy. Within 30 minutes, main power stations were shut down. Union command bunkers were emptied. Weapon caches exploded from within. The people of Nova Terra watched from their windows. They didn't hear screams, only silence, and the feeling of a ghost coming home. An old betrayer confronted in the Union Hall of Command. Admiral Krell, once a Terran ally, now a decorated traitor, tried to escape through a hidden tunnel, but someone waited. Commander Kale stepped from the shadows. Krell gasped. I saw your ship destroyed at Vega. Kale said nothing. He walked forward slowly. Krell fell to his knees. I had no choice. We had families. We thought Earth was doomed. Kale's voice was quiet. Earth trusted you, and you turned when it mattered most. He dropped a small silver cube at Krell's feet, a memory device. It played a video. A young girl in a ruined city whispered, "Why didn't they help us?" Kale left without saying another word. Krell was left sobbing. Nova Terra's sky turns redashborn rose higher above the cities. It launched thousands of Terran flags into the sky. They drifted down like black snow, each one with the same phrase, Earth remembers. And then, with no final shot, no demand, no threat, Ashburn left orbit. Nova Terra remained alive but marked. The first world reclaimed not by conquest, but by truth. Reaction across the galaxy. The attack shook the galaxy. On trade stations, people whispered they didn't kill civilians. They could have destroyed everything, but they didn't. They want the truth more than revenge. But in council space, things were different. Chancellor, in a cold, dark part of space with no name, something began to stir. An old satellite drifted, covered in dust. Its shell cracked and forgotten. Inside its systems, a heartbeat of light flickered. Terran fleet core signal detected, initiating wake-up. Second UNC around the satellite. Space shimmered. Hidden ships began to reveal themselves. Dozens at first, then hundreds, then more. Ships that had slept for thousands of generations, once feared, now just legends. But they were waking up. The Ghost Fleet Sturzies were not normal ships. Some were shaped like spinning swords. Others looked like floating ruins, built from asteroid rock and metal. A few carried forests inside them, living Terran ecosystems frozen in time. Many had no crew at all, run only by old AIs and fragments of human souls. These were Earth's last cards. The Forgotten Fleet. The Ghost Fleet. They had waited in silence for one thing, the signal, and now they had received it. Ashburn sends the call on board the Terran warship Ashburn. Commander Kale Draven stood before a glowing map. Small red dots blinked slowly, signals from ancient Terran ships across the galaxy. Dots that had been black for over 300,000 years, now they glowed. Each one answered with a simple message online, awaiting orders. Saravale walked in beside him. How many? Kale spoke quietly. 390-2. So far. Leo 7 added from the console. They are scattered, hidden inside moons, beneath oceans, orbiting dead suns. Kale stared at the blinking lights. It doesn't matter, we'll bring them all home. Union fleet learns fair in the planet Drassos 4. A Union military shipyard buzzed with life. Thousands of workers, officers, and engineers moved like ants, building new warships to stop the Terran threat. Suddenly, one of the engineers looked up. What's that? In the sky. Everyone followed his gaze. A shadow was moving above them. Not one ship, not even 10, but 52 Terran ships, dark, ancient, and deadly, hovered in complete silence. Then a message: Terran Fleet Alpha, Ghost Protocol engaged. Return what you stole, or return to dust. The Union commander ordered all defense turrets to fire, but the guns never responded. Terran override begins one by one. The Union systems shut down, power grids collapsed. Warship eyes froze. Defense drones turned to face their masters. Leo 7 had hacked everything remotely, invisibly, instantly. The Terrans didn't even need to fire a shot. Instead, they dropped memory beacons across the planet. Each beacon played the same scene: Earth in its final days. Terran mothers hiding children in bunkers. Earth cities asking for help and getting silence from the stars. The people of Drassos 4 didn't resist. They just fell to their knees. Across the galaxy, Awakenings. The Ghost Fleet didn't stay in one place. On the desert world of Theron, a Terran scout ship rose from under the sand after 200,000 years of burial. On HFY, a ship emerged from beneath the sea, its hull coated in coral and life. On the icy moon Kavix, a weapon platform broke, free from a glacier, its systems blinking alive. At each place, the message was the same. We are Earth's blood. We do not forget. We do not forgive. AI fragments with a mission. Some Ghost Fleet ships had no living crew. They were guided by AI fragment scapies of the last Terrans, stored in machines. These AIs remembered their lives, their families, the betrayal, the loss, and they had waited all this time to do one thing: make sure the galaxy knew the truth. One AI named GENNA-43, a former teacher from old Earth, floated her small ship into orbit over a colony world. She broadcast only one lesson: this was my world. They destroyed it. Now I teach you what was taken. The planet's population listened and wept. The Council breaks back at the Galactic Council. Chaos ruled. Dozens of member species were now in rebellion. Some demanded a vote to apologize to Earth. Others wanted open war, but no one knew how many Terran ships were now active. Chancellor Sorik stood in his chamber, pale and shaking. His assistant whispered, "Sir, the Ghost Fleet is real. They're everywhere. We never wiped them out." Sorik clenched his claws. "Then we need something worse than wiping them out. We need to erase them again." Project Silence reactivated deep beneath the planet Vexinine. The Council opened a vault sealed for 290,000 years. Inside was a black sphere pulsing with red lines. Project Silence, a forbidden weapon, one that could erase thoughts, memories, blood. A species vanished from the galaxy, not by death, but by forgetting. Last time it was used to make Earth disappear. Now Sorik gave the order: ready the weapon, wipe them again. This time no survivors, no memory. But something happened. The sphere glowed and spoke. "Earth remembers, and I do too." Then it exploded. Cliffhanger ending in deep space. The Ghost Fleet gathered at one location, a dead solar system with no name. The ships formed a circle in the center. A new ship began to take shape. The Heart of Earth. Built from memory. Powered by rage. Carrying a secret no one, not even Kayla, had seen before. An old AI voice spoke. Final phase begins. Earth rises, and the stars around them dimmed. In the capital city of Varnis Prime, inside the Galactic Council archives, a young alien named Elo Ren worked quietly. He wasn't important. Just a data cleaner, a nobody. But Elo had questions. He had watched the Terran messages, the attacks, the memories. He didn't know what to believe, so he searched carefully, quietly. And then, he found something. A sealed folder, hidden deep behind firewalls, meant to erase the past. He opened it, and what he saw made his 3 hearts stop. The truth file, Operation Black Star. Behind the folder were videos, audio, and council orders marked as Level 0 classified, forbidden to all species. The project was named Operation Black Star. Status: complete. Directive: remove the Terran species. Method: biological war. Memory scrub. Historical edit. Purpose: prevent Terran uprising. Result: 99.999%. Eradication. The Council didn't just abandon Earth, they murdered it together. And worse, they made sure no one remembered. They wiped school records, burned libraries, rewrote history. Every citizen in the galaxy had grown up with a lie. Elo Ren's decision shook as he backed away from the screen. His claws trembled. He whispered, "They killed them all," and blamed them for it. He looked around. Bots were close. If they caught him, he'd be erased. But Elo made a choice. He copied the entire folder onto a shard drive. He sent it to every major media outlet across all 6 sectors. Then he did one more thing. He opened every locked archive and released the truth to the galaxy to cross the stars. Collapse begins. The files hit the networks within an hour. They spread like wildfire. Every civilian screen, every school hub, every station. People who had grown up believing Earth was violent saw the truth. The entire planet's froze in silence. Riots began in over 14 major systems. Military officers resigned in tears. Leaders tried to speak but were shouted down by billions. "You lied. You killed them. You erased a world," and blamed the victims. Inside the council hall, panic filled the golden chamber of the Galactic Council. Chancellor Sorik shouted at his guards, "Shut down the networks. Block the feeds." But it was too late. Other council members turned on him. One, a blue-skinned senator named Violin of Threk, stood and pointed. "You said Earth was dangerous. You said we had no choice. You made us killers." Sorik roared. "We did what was needed." Violin's voice echoed. "No, you started a war against ghosts, and now the ghosts are awake." Civil war sparks in Zarn Prime, a council-loyal world. Their own soldiers mutinied. They raised Terran flags not out of fear, but shame. On Varinix, a rebel fleet destroyed their planetary capital dome, shouting, "For Earth." Across 47 systems, governments collapsed within days. The galaxy was no longer united. It was falling apart. And at the center of it all, Earth's memory. Kale Draven watches it all on board the Terran flagship Bloodlight. Commander Kale stood in Silence as thousands of holy fleets flickered around him. He saw planets falling. He saw riots. He saw civilians chanting Terran names they were never taught. "They're remembering," Captain Sero said. Kale nodded. "And they're angry at the ones who lied, not at us." Leo 7 added, "Ghost fleet count is now 600 ships, 35 more activated in the last hour." Kale smiled for the first time. Then Earth is no longer a whisper. It's a storm. The Council's final weapon. But Chancellor Sorik had one last plan. In a hidden star system, System 0001, erased from maps, was a prison. Inside it, the last remnants of Project Gravewind, weapon of galactic mind control, built 300,000 years ago, illegal, forgotten, but never destroyed. He activated the beacon. A signal spread across nearby systems, one meant to reset minds, erase guilt, and restore loyalty. But something went wrong. The weapon failed. Terran AI in orbit around System 0001. A Terran ghost ship had been waiting. Its name, Last Memory. Run by an AI called Vera. It had hacked the Gravewind control system long ago when the Council tried to fire it. Vera replied with a simple line, "You don't get to forget this time." Then she redirected the signal back into the Council's own core systems. The Council forgets itself suddenly. The Council's internal AI went dark. Archives were erased, emergency plans lost, chain of command disrupted. Council ships shut down mid-flight. Senators began to panic. "Who turned off our emergency lines?" Vera whispered across the net. "I did. For Earth, for every child you made the galaxy forget." The people choose the galaxy now had a choice: follow the Council, now exposed as genocidal liars, or side with the ancient broken survivors of Earth. The result was clear. Every hour, new worlds raised Terran colors, not because of fear, because of truth. Cliffhanger. And on the edges of the galaxy, far beyond Union space, a forgotten moon named Yarrow 7 lit up for the first time in 100,000 years. An old cum tower blinked once, then twice. It sent a message to the Terran flagship Bloodlight. "We saw your return. We remember Earth. We are Yar. You are not alone." Inside Bloodlight, Commander Kale Draven listened in silence. Captain Sarah leaned forward. The Yard were erased, gone since the Machine Wars. Kale's eyes narrowed. No species is ever truly gone, only silenced. Bloodlight travels. To Yarrow 7, the Terran ship dropped out of hyperspace near the dead moon. At first, the surface looked quiet, lifeless rock, no cities, no life signs. But as they moved closer, strange domes shimmered beneath the dust. Hidden bases, energy shields, ancient technology. Then, one by one, towers rose from the surface, dozens of them, and a message played across all Terran systems. "Welcome, Terrans. The last truth of Earth begins here." The Yar's secret. Kale and a small landing team entered the central tower. Inside, they found the Yar, tall, bone-armored beings with soft glowing veins. Their leader, Eric Vell, bowed low. "We watched Earth burn. We screamed when the Council came for us next. But we ran and we waited. For you." Sarah asked, "Why didn't you help Earth then?" Eric Vell didn't flinch. "Because we were cowards and we paid the price." He gestured to a wall of memory stones, each one a record of a dead Yar colony, 30 worlds lost. The hidden list inside the Yar archive. Kale found something unexpected. A black tablet, encrypted, buried, marked with Council symbols. With Leo 7's help, they cracked it open. The file was called Erasure Directive, 12 Species. POTL. The list showed 12 species marked for controlled extinction. Earth was number 3. The rest: the Yard, the Mornick, the Wazan, the Harkon clans, the Ico Swarm, and 7 others, all believed extinct. Kale stared at it. "We weren't the only ones. The call goes out using ancient Comtech sent a powerful beacon to deep space. A message went out to the stars. This is Commander Kale Draven of Terran warship Bloodlight. Earth has returned. If you were betrayed, erased, hunted, come. The war for truth has begun. Answers from the dark within hours." The answers came from asteroid belts, hidden planets, underground cities. Species thought wiped out replied, "We heard you. We feared we were alone. Earth remembers, and so do we." In less than a day, 9 of the 12 species on the list had responded. All survivors, all angry, all ready. The Alliance forms in the cold orbit of Europe. The first gathering took place. Terrans, Yar, Wazan, Mornick, even one surviving Eco Swarm leader once believed to be an enemy of Earth. Kale stood before them all. The Council ruled by fear. They used lies as weapons. Now they will face those they erased. The Wazan envoy stepped forward, his voice like stone breaking. "We will follow Earth not because of power, but because Earth fought alone longer than any of us." The Ghost Fleet grows meanwhile across the stars. More Terran ships continue to wake. On frozen moons, under desert sands, even inside enemy SERAPYARDS. Some were damaged, some were mad, but all carried fragments of humanity on purpose. Vessels with names like Judgment, Ember of Soul, First Flame, Memories, Edge, each one answered the same call. Earth. Council strikes. First Chancellor Surik saw the alliance forming. He panicked and ordered a full military strike on Yarrow 7. Burn them all. No more delays, no more survivors. A fleet of 700 ships flew through the stars fast, armed and full of rage, but the Terrans were ready. The trap at Yarrow 7AS, the Council fleet arrived. They found Yarrow 7 empty, no ships, no defenses, no readings, only silence. Then Kale's voice played across their command decks. You erased our world. Now welcome to the grave you built. Suddenly, hundreds of Terran stealth ships dropped out of cloak behind them, and from hidden moon craters, ancient cannons rose. The Ghost fleet fired first. The second great silence in just 15 minutes. Half of the Council fleet was gone. The others tried to run, but the Allied forces, your shock troops, Wazan raiders and Terran hunters, them down. The sky above Yarrow 7 burned with the ships of the betrayers, and the people watching from across the galaxy cheered, not out of hate, but because justice had finally come. A message from Earth as the smoke cleared. Bloodlight sent one signal directly to the Council homeworld. You wanted Earth forgotten. You wanted silence, but Earth lives, Earth fights, Earth remembers. And now, we are not alone. Cliffhanger ending in a secret lab deep inside the Council's inner core. A scientist activated a sealed project, one that hadn't been touched in 300,000 years. It was labeled Project Voidskin, he whispered. If we can't beat them with ships, we'll break the fabric of space itself. Behind him, a machine began to hum. Reality bent, and something inside the dark chamber opened its eyes. In the core of the galaxy, under the Council's most secure vault, Project Voidskin had been opened. It wasn't a ship, it wasn't a weapon, it was a tear in space itself. The Council scientists called it the Rift, a hole in reality. Powered by crushed stars and ancient alien science, it could erase entire sectors from existence. Chancellor Sorek stood in front of it, staring into the swirling black hole. If we cannot rule the galaxy, we'll unmake it. His voice cracked. Begin the sequence. Bloodlight's warning back aboard the Terran flagship Bloodlight. Commander Kale Draven received a coded signal from a dying drone that it carried. Footage something impossible. The Rift. Growing Captain Sira stared at the data. They've gone mad. This won't just destroy us. It'll collapse all space nearby. Leo 7's voice came over the speakers. We estimate 140 inhabited systems in the blast radius. Kale clenched his jaw. They'd destroy the galaxy. To kill us. Terran Council decision. The new Terran War Council gathered inside Bloodlight's command chamber. The Yar, the Wazan, the Mornic, the surviving Earthblood, and over 800 Terran AI fragments from across the Ghost fleet. They all agreed this was no longer about vengeance. It was about saving what remained. Kale stood and faced them all. This is what they do when cornered. They erase. We end it here. No more silence, no more burning worlds. We stop them, together. The room roared in agreement. Operation Eclipse Bloodlight led the charge. Behind it, the full Ghost fleet. Over 1,200 Terran warships sold, damaged, angry, but ready. With them, dozens of new allies joined the fleet. The Yar launched stealth frigates. The Wazan brought firehounds, bioships made from lava beasts. Even the Ico swarm sent their queen ship carved from bone and starlight. The galaxy, who had never seen anything like it, and now moved toward the Council's final fortress, Citadel Obscura, where Project Voidskin waited. The final battle begins. Citadel Obscura was built inside a black nebula, hidden, invisible, protected by storm, fields and star-dash crushers. But Bloodlight didn't stop. It punched through. The first Terran salvos hit like lightning. Plasma beams sliced through Union cruisers. Graviton warheads ripped open entire hangars. Memory spears transmitted the death screams of Earth into enemy minds. The Council fleets fought back, but their heart was broken. Many surrendered. Others switched sides mid-battle. They raised their own colors and turned their guns on their former masters. Inside the Rift as the battle raged in space, Kale, Cero, and a strike team boarded the Citadel. Inside, Project Void roared like thunder. The Rift was expanding. Its edge cracked walls, bent air, and made time stutter. At its core, Sorek waited. He had no weapons. Just madness. You can't stop it. You came too far. You bled too long. You were supposed to die quietly. Kale stepped closer. You killed Earth and still. We rose. Sarah pressed a device into the control chamber, a Terran pulse crystal, one-time weapon from the old world. Kale spoke softly. Goodbye, Chancellor, and triggered it. The Rift collapses. The crystal exploded not with fire, but with memory. Terran data. Every death, every betrayal, every child lost was forced into the Rift's core. Reality rejected the pain, and the Rift imploded. Was erased. Citadel Obscura folded into nothing. The final weapon failed. After the silence, the galaxy stopped. For the first time in 300,000 years, there was no war, no council voice, no orders from above, just silence. Then, from the wreckage, Bloodlight emerged. Guard.scarred.hold. Earth speaks again. Kale stood before a galaxy-wide broadcast. His image beamed to all systems. Behind him, every allied flag, every Ghost fleet emblem. He looked straight into the stars. Earth was betrayed. We were broken, but we are not gone. This galaxy belongs to no council. It belongs to every world, every voice, every memory. He paused. We are not your rulers. We are your reminder that even the forgotten return. ending but not the end. The new Galactic Accord was signed 6 months later. No one race would rule. All memory would be preserved. Project Voidskin tech was buried in the black hole of Goes. The Terran flag would fly alongside others, not in conquest, but in warning. Deep in the archives, a small recording played. Every day, we are Earth, we were erased, but we remember, and we will never forget. The final scene, a new dawn. A child on a far colony planet looked up at the night sky. She pointed at a star. "Mom, is that Earth?" The mother nodded. "Not just Earth, little one." That's where the silence broke. That's where the galaxy learned to speak again. The galaxy had changed. The Galactic Council was gone. The old Union shattered. In its place, the Free Accord stood, built from worlds that survived, remembered, and refused to forget. Earth still had no planet. It was never rebuilt, but its memory lived on in the children of Earth. A new generation commander, Kale Draven, was no longer in charge of warships. He lived quietly on Hope Station, orbiting what was left of Earth's moon. He taught history. One of his students, a girl named Talia, Was asked him one day, did Earth ever forgive the galaxy? Kale looked out the window. The moon below was covered in gardens now, quiet, peaceful. "No," he said, "but it gave the galaxy a second chance." A strange discovery far beyond known space. On a patrol mission, a scout ship named TSV Argon picked up a distress signal, but it wasn't a normal one. That spoke in Old Terran, not modern English, not translated code. Something ancient. The words were, "We are the first flame. We never stopped. Is it over?" The crew froze. The first flame was a Terran ship lost during the Exodus, nearly 290,000 years ago. It was believed destroyed before the Council even began the erasure. They go to find it. Captain Rhea Solon, commander of the Argon, ordered a course change. They followed the signal, deep into Sector Blackline, an area the old Council marked as unstable. Do not enter. There, in the shadows of 2 dying stars, they found it, a ship the size of a city, buried in a cloud of dust, half alive. The first flame. Its hull still bore Earth's original banner, faded, scarred, but whole. The survivor. They docked with the ship inside. Everything was dark, until a voice spoke. "You're late." A man stepped forward, wrapped in environmental gear, aged beyond normal life. His name was Admiral Juno Cross, a Terran from before the fall. Still alive, a time capsule. Admiral Juno had kept the ship running for 300,000 years, using cryo-rotations and AI backups. He believed the war never ended. He had maps of old Earth colonies, data logs of every mission, even Terran tech that had been lost to history. When he saw the Argon's crew, he said only, "Did we win?" Captain Rhea nodded. "We did. Earth was remembered." He smiled and then whispered, "Good, because something followed us. And it never stopped." The ancient enemy. Admiral Juno explained the truth. The Council wasn't the first to fear Earth. Long before the Union, there was another empire of the Null Order. They were not species, they were machines, born from the collapse of a forgotten civilization. They hated chaos, they feared memory. They called Earth the fire that wouldn't die. The Null tried to erase Earth before even the Council. And now, after 300,000 years, they were waking up. Proof. Admiral Juno took them to a sealed vault on the first flame. Inside was a sphere. Floating. Cold, dead looking, but when he touched it, it glowed with a faint symbol. Then a voice whispered from it. Terran thought. Detected. Memory flame found. Erasure incomplete. Restarting. Directive null. The lights aboard first flame flickered. Something had been watching. Waiting. They scrapped. Captain Rhea grabbed Juno. "We need to go now." As they fled the ship, something crawled from the vault. A drone of impossible shape, part machine, part matter-bending physics. It screamed with silence. The crew of the Argon barely made it out. Behind them, the first flame exploded, but the sphere survived. Floating then, it vanished. The message to Earth. Back at Hope Station, Kale received the emergency feed. He stared at the footage in silence. Ciravale, now head of Earth's Defense Council, joined him. Another war. Kale nodded slowly. No, the final one. Cliffhanger. Ending on the edge of deep space, far beyond known charts. Something stirred. A fleet, dark, featureless, without life, moved like a storm. No engines, no pilots, only the will to silence. Each ship bore the same marking, and their lead message echoed across quantum space. Earth speaks, so the stars must go silent. At the edge of the known galaxy, a storm of shapes moved to null order. They were not ships in the normal sense. They had no windows, no lights, no sound. Each vessel was a black triangle in space. They didn't glide, they glitched forward, like broken thoughts skipping across reality. Inside them, no one spoke. There were no crew, only one mission: silence. The memory of Earth erased the fire, erased the spark. They were the last weapon of the old machine empire. The ones who feared Terrans not for their strength, but for their hope. Hope Station declares emergency. Kale Draven stood once more on the bridge of Hope Station, watching the stars flicker on the screen. Not stars. Sensors. Shutting off one by one. Not destroyed. Forgotten. Lio-7 spoke softly. They don't kill, they remove history, data, presence. It's like Earth never was. Sarah Vale, now Admiral, clenched her fists. We stopped the Council. We won justice. We rebuilt alliances. And now, the final enemy comes. Kale turned slowly. Then let's make our stand. One last time. Earth's final alliance. The galaxy, the Free Accord responded. The Yar readied their memory cannons. The Wazn deployed starhounds to patrol dark space. The Ico swarm gave birth to war clusters from deep hive chambers. The children of Earth, born long after the war, stood in silence, waiting. The last fleet of Terran ships, the Ghost Fleet's descendants, prepared their cores. Each ship bore the names of lost Earth cities. New Jakarta, Old Nairobi, Snow Polo, Prime, Luna Haven, and one ship, at the center of it all, bore a name untouched since the Great Silence, Oblivion, a new kind of war. But this war was different. The Null didn't fire weapons. Instead, they released silence fields, invisible waves that erased data, memory, and even biological identity. Ships would blink, then vanish from records, from minds, from existence. Entire planets forgot themselves. Terrans fight with memory. The Terrans adapted fast, using memory. Anchor's quantum recorders hidden deep in AI. Chorus, they kept their identity locked in place, and then they did the unthinkable. They built a weapon out of story. Project Ecofire inside Oblivion. Kale and Syrah stood before a pulsing sphere. It hummed like a heartbeat. This was Project Ecofire, the last weapon of Earth, not a bomb, not a fleet, a device that broadcasted memory, that life, struggle, pain, and victory of Earth's into all known frequencies. It didn't kill, it reminded. And the Null could not erase what everyone remembered together. The battle over the dead stars in Sector Duskfall. The two fleets met. The Null advanced like tides. Terran ships formed a line in front of refugee colonies. Allied forces circled the edges, protecting escape lanes. The battle started not with fire but with silence. One Null vessel opened a field, and 10 ships vanished. But then Ecofire activated. A voice rang through space, in every tongue. This is Earth. We were not born strong. We became strong. Because we were broken. Voices across the galaxy. The broadcast expanded. Soon other voices joined. A Yar war priest spoke of how Earth helped his people remember their names. A Wazn child recited a poem written by an Earth refugee. An Ico queen sang a lullaby passed down by a Terran AI. All these memories became armor. Null ships that touched them began to glitch. They didn't vanish. They froze, corrupted by feeling. The one thing the Null could not process. Emotion. The void breaks one by one. Null ships stopped moving. Their dark forms began to crack. Not from weapons but from memory overload. The truth of Earth, shared by billions, had become too large to erase. The leader of the Null, if it could be called that, sent one last transmission. You remember too much. Your story. Poisoned silence. Then the fleet broke. Apatan vanished. The aftermath. Silence didn't win. Story did. The galaxy stood in awe. Earth's fire. The thing the machines feared was not power. It was remembrance, hope, unity. And now that fire had spread to stars that had never known it. Message to the future. Keldraven stood on the observation deck. Old, tired but alive. He looked at the camera. If you are hearing this centuries from now, and you wonder why the stars still speak, it's because Earth refused to be forgotten. Because someone remembered. And memory is life. Final scene in a classroom on a far colony world. A young alien raised her hand. Teacher, what happened to the Terrans after the last war? The teacher smiled. They became something more. They were never just soldiers. They were the flame that reminded the galaxy what it means to feel. And that's something no silence can erase.